So this is my little money video, and I wanted to do this video just to give you guys an example of what you could do if you was to pull 4 loads. Which I don't think 4 loads is that big of a deal. Like, I don't always pull 4 loads. Obviously, I don't do this every week. I think last week I did 2 loads, and the week before that I did like 2 or 3. It's actually rare that I pull 4 loads in a week. I've done it like 3 times. And just because I did get the daily pay, I have to have my load in by Thursday. So at Thursday by lunchtime, if I don't have it scanned in by Thursday by lunchtime, it goes on the next week's pay. So I might do 4 loads. Like, you might do a load Thursday and Friday, but Thursday and Friday the load will go on to next week, which in theory should work out, but doesn't always work out depending on whether you get a weekend load, which sometimes I don't get a weekend load. Especially if I'm doing something where I got to be off on Monday or Tuesday, then obviously I don't take a weekend load, because it makes no sense for me to go to the Carolinas or go to Iowa or Illinois or something like that on a Monday if I got to be home on Tuesday. Obviously, I'm not going to be home on Tuesday. If I go home empty, then you're probably not getting 4 loads in a week. That weekend load, having a weekend load that picks up on Friday and delivers on Monday, is pretty important to get 4 loads or more a week. I've heard of some people doing 5 loads a week, and they got to be really busting butt to do that. But anyways, I wrote down my numbers of this load, and if this is a video that you guys like to see more often, I don't really like giving out money numbers and stuff like that. But since I'm in the lease purchase over here, I kind of figured I'd give you guys an idea of what you can make. And this ain't even really a good week, but this is probably like an average week. So we did 4 loads this week, and the thing about the first loads is I didn't have a weekend load technically, but my first load was a weekend load, kind of. I didn't pick it up on Friday, but I picked it up on Sunday and delivered it on Monday, which is the same concept. I picked it up on Friday, delivered on Monday. I picked it up Sunday afternoon, delivered it Monday morning. So that's kind of like a weekend load, and I get them loads out of Pittsburgh, or it's the Pittsburgh agent, but it's Yorksville, Ohio. So anyways, let me get into this, because we're already 2 minutes in, and I don't want this to be a 15-minute video. And I'm in my kitchen, so everything's screwed up, so I'm looking over all my paperwork's over here, so I'm going to be looking back and forth. I'll try to look at the camera as much as possible. So, first load picked up in Yorksville, Ohio, delivered in Crawfordsville, Indiana. And one other thing is, I thought about how to do the money on this. I'm just going to do the money after the cut. I was going to go through and tell you what the fuel surcharge was and what the money was, and then what my cut was, but it'd just be confusing. It's just easier just to, I can tell you what the fuel surcharge is, but I'll just give you the total. So my first load was Yorksville, Ohio to Crawfordsville, Indiana. It paid me $900. It was 900 line haul and $225 fuel surcharge on 454 miles. Second load picked up in Crawfordsville, Indiana. Actually, I deadheaded like 4 miles from in Crawfordsville over to Nucor in Crawfordsville, Indiana, going back to Wheaton, PA. And that one paid me, it was a 1307 line haul and 248 fuel surcharge. My pay was $1228.25 after the cut on 390 miles. Then, once I got that up in Wheaton, PA, I went back to Yorksville, Ohio, picked up my third load out of Yorksville, Ohio, going to Henderson, Kentucky. That was a 1303 line haul with a 303 fuel surcharge, and my cut was $1280.25 on that one on 550 miles. And then from Henderson, Kentucky, I went to Mount Vernon, Indiana, which was like 35 miles. And I picked up a load of shingles going from Mount Vernon, Indiana to Myerstown, PA. Line haul on that was $1,800. Fuel surcharge $205.52. My cut was $1805.25. The thing on that was I sat there and took me like 7 hours to get loaded. There were so many trucks there. So they ended up paying me $250 of detention. So that added $250 to the mix. Now, that's already counted into the $1,805. The $250 is already counted into the $1,805. Originally, it was $1,555, and then you add $250, which makes it $1,805. So that is my numbers for the loads that I ran Monday through Thursday. Gives me a gross total after the cut to me of $5,213.25. And I ran a total of, let me see if I got my miles written down. Did I write my miles down? I thought I did. 2,119 miles. So that's what we got. That was what I made. And now we're going to go through my cost, everything that came out, and we'll figure out what my net was. So my fixed costs are stuff like truck payment, trailer rent, all my insurances, bobtail insurance, liability insurance. There's a whole list of stuff. Securement equipment, I'm paying $75 a week for that. There's an escrow that you got to put $25 a week in until it hits $2,000. I don't know what it's called, but it's some sort of escrow. All that's all in the $981.98. So all that's in there. And then fuel, big cost here. Fuel and death, I spent $1,346.85 in fuel. And then other stuff that I spent that would also be counted in was I got 2 showers at $17 a piece. I got a reserve parking at $20. And then my maintenance account. I have a maintenance account that comes out that they take out for maintenance. And that's 20 cents a mile. Times that by 2,118 miles. That brings it to $423.80. So that brings my total cost this week to $2,806.50. Subtract that from the $5,213.75. That gives me a net profit into my bank account of $2,407.25. And I got my cost of the truck, and I'm not exactly sure. I did this the other day. But this week it cost me $1.32 to operate my truck. So $1.32 to operate my truck. My gross was $5,213, and my net was $2,400 after all expenses. Like I said, I think this is a pretty normal week. I think you can easily come over here and do 4 loads a week. Now, obviously, they are going to pay this. Like, it does matter what, if you're pulling 4 loads at $400, obviously you're not going to make that money. So you got to be aware of what it costs to operate your truck, but you also got to be aware of how much a load costs. If you're taking cheap freight, then obviously you're not going to make this kind of money. And obviously there's freight that pays way better than this out there too. So you have the potential to make it. You just got to be smart about what you take, what you don't take, and how much it costs to operate your truck and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. Pretty simple video. If you, like I said before, if you like this kind of video, maybe I'll do another one. And maybe what I'll do is I'll go back through one of my old loads and I'll find a load where I only ran like 1 or 2 loads a week, which should be pretty easy to run because I've done a lot of them, it seems. And run the numbers on that and show you what you make whenever you only run 2 loads a week. You're not making very much money when you're running 2 loads a week. I know that. I don't know if you're making any money actually. But I could go do that if you guys want, or you could just hang on and I'll probably run this week. I'll probably run like 2 loads and I can just do the money on this week when I get back in next weekend or whatever. But that's it, guys. Just a little quick video on the money that you could make or the money that I made last week, and we'll go from there. Don't forget to go into the comment section, leave a comment, like this video, share this video, all that cool stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.